Next,
Abdurrahman.
Could you kindly enlighten us the difference?
in England, he has started moving from left to right now.
Yes.
Could you kindly enlighten us the difference between Muslim and Mumin?
Muslim and
Mumin.
Mumin. Right. The word Muslim applies to a few things to which the word Mumin does not apply directly. But in the final analysis, they seem to merge into each other. But still, the word Mumin has a meaning which is over and above the meaning of Muslim, because it is the beginning of the journey of God's creatures towards Him. That always begins with Iman. In that respect, Islam follows. It does not precede. You understand? For instance, when you read الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ, here, Iman bil Ghaib is the first step of the journey. How can you hand yourself over, submit yourself to something of which you have no knowledge whatsoever? The Iman also begins with a vague concept, although it has other meanings I have explained elsewhere. But in this context, I would like to remind you that الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ is the first step of journey towards God. But the ghaib becomes so powerful and suddenly is transformed into something which can be witnessed, that to follow the deeds and practices which should naturally follow al-Iman, if it's true, are mentioned immediately. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Iman is bil-ghaib, but it is a very powerful Iman. So the journey towards Islam always begins with Iman. Islam never precedes it. Once Iman has taken over and it becomes real, then the submission which follows is in fact a fruit of al-Iman, a natural consequence. The more the belief enriches or strengthens, the more one feels like going over to the lap of God. So if you reach those stages, bit by bit, of submitting your own person to the supreme will of God, bit by bit, in the sense that it's impossible for ordinary people to give themselves up altogether again, to throw them into the lap of God. So the Iman leads to God, and each step you take in the direction of God is a proof of your Islam, which results from Iman. Right? In this sense, practically, their boundaries are removed, because Iman and Islam are interdependent. There can be no Islam without Iman, and no Iman without a following Islam. If you believe in something to be right, then you cannot work against the dictates of its nature. If you believe that there is a snake in a hole, if you genuinely believe, you will not poke your finger into that. And if you believe that somebody is powerful and beneficial, then you would like to relate to him more closely and gain your distance upon him, become closer to him. So this movement towards something in which you believe is directly proportional to the intensity of the belief or its weakness. More powerful the belief becomes, stronger would become the urge for you to reach the wonderful thing in which you believe, or run away from the ugly thing in which you believe in the negative sense. So the beginning of every step you take towards God is based on Iman, and every step you take towards God is an act of submission. See? So in the ultimate analysis, al-Muslim is a person whose act has proved him to be right to a degree, to such a degree that you can say his Iman is kamil, is perfect. So perfection of practical real life is a proof of the truth of Islam, of Iman. But if you believe only and say I believe, and that belief is not followed by corresponding actions, then Iman cannot be proved. So Islam is the touchstone on which Iman is tested. The more Muslim you become, the more Mumin you would appear to be to the others as well, and the more reliable your faith becomes. So that is why, judging the ordinary Muslims of today, the Iman becomes doubtful. Their Iman becomes very doubtful. They believe in God but do not say the prayers. They believe in God but do not hesitate from telling lies. They believe in God but do not hesitate from usurping other people's rights. They believe in God and do not hesitate killing others, shedding their blood, robbing them of their property. This, every step they take in life is away from God. How could their faith be true? So they behave in relation to God as if he were a snake, as if he were a lion. You see, firar min al-qaswara, that is the picture which is created.
Farat min qaswara.
Farat min qaswara. So they run away from God, not opposite to what the verse says, firu ilallah. So if the faith is true, then firar will be in the direction of God, and that is Islam. You submit to him and lose your own independent authority. If the faith is imperfect or weak or imaginary, then you run away from God at such speed as if you're afraid of qaswara. And this is exactly what is happening today, unfortunately. See? So in short, this should be sufficient to answer your question, in answer to your question, that although they belong to the same area, but one is a practical proof of the truth of the faith, and the faith, if it is true, is bound to lead you to Islam. You can't stop short of Islam.